Okay. Show me.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the DutchRC channel for a review of this goggle I'm wearing at the moment. It is the Cyclops version 2 Quantum from HobbyKing. Yes, sir. And I just ran outside to give you a look of how they look on someone's head. And a quick disclaimer, this review will be very positive. Yeah, and I'm not affiliated in any way with HobbyKing. I don't get a kickback on this review, but as you will see, I am very positive on these goggles. And yeah, now that you've had a look of what they look like, let's step inside and go over the details of this Cyclops version 2 by HobbyKing. Here we go. Okay, so the Cyclops version 2 from Quantum/HobbyKing. Now I did a review of the original Cyclops and actually a bit of a history lesson. I think HobbyKing with their foam two-piece shell with neoprene glove goggles made the FPV Goggle scene quite a bit more affordable a few years back. I did a review of the version 1 and of the version 2 and of the Pro, and the version 1 of this Cyclops actually replaced the do-it-yourself version 1. Again, that type with the two foam halves with a separate screen, and you had to get a separate receiver for it. There was an all-in-one package. But again, this Cyclops, the version 1 Cyclops replaced that first version of the do-it-yourself goggle. And again, I did a review of the version 1. I really liked that version. It was an excellent entry-level goggle, and in fact, a week before Quantum/HobbyKing released this version 2, I advised someone to get that goggle as a first goggle, and the version 1 is still a good goggle. However, there are quite a few updates in this version 2, more than I had expected for an update on this goggle, and valuable additions, updates. So that makes it, it was already a good goggle, but it is far better now. I don't often recommend things, but let's first take a good look at this goggle. It has the same outer shell as the version 1. It also has the same color. It is a hard plastic shell and it's all enclosed. There is of course a monitor inside of here, a 5-inch monitor, and I'll put the specs of that monitor on screen for you right now. On the version 1 you had one white button over here to do your scanning, frequency scanning, and that worked alright if you were flying by yourself. You'd most times pick up your own signal and you could go and fly. However, if you are flying with friends, that one scan button sometimes introduced the problem that the goggle would find someone else's FPV signal, and you had no chance to change to another signal or do a rescan to the rest of the channels. As you can see, this one, the version 2, has a band button, and with that band button you can simply cycle through the four bands or 5. Well, I'll put that on screen as well. It can receive on 40 channels including race band, and besides the band selection you also have a manual channel plus and minus rocker button over here. So that's an excellent addition for this version 2, I think. Marvelous. A great. One of the downsides really of the version 1 was that one scan button, but this time you still have the auto scan feature, but if that doesn't help you out, you can manually change the band and the channel. Good stuff. Okay, and on the other side of the goggle, you have 4 additional buttons. These buttons, I'm not sure. The version 1 probably had a menu for brightness, contrast, saturation and such as well. But this one also has this yellow button, the AVRX selection button, and with that button you can select the source. Meaning you can select between the built-in receiver and an external receiver. An excellent addition. The version 1 didn't have an external in, and this one does. So that is pretty nice. And you also see this indent over here. I'm not sure if they ever intended to make this a diversity goggle. I don't really think so. At this price point, it is an entry-level goggle, or maybe a second goggle to have your friends watch along. Diversity, it would make it more expensive, so I'm not sure if they intended that or even should do that. Okay, and just like on the version 1 and on the do-it-yourself goggles, you've got these sliders which will slide the internal magnification lens back and forth to focus the screen for your eyes. Everyone's eyes are different, so you can focus them in and out. Besides that, if we have a look at the rear, we have ourselves some foam padding all around the face plate, so to speak. And same as on the version 1. However, they did widen this section over here. So it is a little more comfortable. I had no complaints really about the version 1, but it is a little more comfortable to wear this version 2. Now that also has a downside. No, it's not really a huge downside. In the version 1 it was easy to get your glasses in there. And I'm not sure if that's really visible, but on this version 2 it's a little more difficult. You can still press them in, and actually maybe you have a spare set of glasses or a set of reading glasses such as I have. It's actually handy to take the legs off of your glasses, press the glasses in and just leave them in. You don't even have to glue them in, I think. The foam will keep it in place, so to speak. So, yeah, but well, if you don't want to do that, you can press your glasses into the foam. It's not hard foam at all. Okay, now that we are having a look at the rear of the goggle, you see 3 straps, or one strap that runs around your head and one top strap. They are all adjustable. The adjustment range of the long strap that runs around your head isn't huge, but it's also stretchable. So that works out for most people, I would think. And you've got this pouch for the battery, and it is a little larger than on the version 1. This is the battery, by the way, I'm using for this goggle. It came with the Fat Shark Genesis Quantum goggle, and it's a 2S goggle. This one will fit, but just. It's not an easy fit. And it just slots into this connector that is attached to the goggle. Now, if you want to run different batteries, you've got a choice of this here wire with a GST plug. Comes with the goggle. You simply slot it on in, and then you can use a GST connector on your LiPo. And it comes with this here cable which has an XT60 connector again. Slots right in, and then you can use an XT60 connector on your LiPo. Very convenient. Okay, and on the right bottom side of the goggle, on the version 1 you just had a cover plate on it, and that cover plate is gone. I'm not sure if the goggle is supposed to come with that plate. Would have been nice, but well, we now have the option of an AV in and an AV out over here. And obviously that's very convenient. If you want to use a different receiver, maybe on another frequency, you can, because it has an AV in. And if you want to share your receiver with someone else that doesn't have a receiver, or if you want to run a DVR, the goggle over here has a AV out. And the goggle actually comes with this composite video cable to, what is this for? For an external receiver. That's very nice. Oh, and the goggle also comes with this rubber ducky antenna. Actually, if you are new to the FPV scene, you might be running a nano FPV quadcopter that has a whip antenna, a linearly polarized antenna. Then this antenna might actually work out better for you than a more expensive cloverleaf antenna. So yeah, it's not completely useless, these rubber ducky antenna. The goggle also comes with this T-plug. I'm not completely sure what that's for. Maybe if the angle is inconvenient. Yeah, might be for that, I'm not sure. Okay, now that we are mentioning the things that come with this goggle, you also get an extra bit of foam for the nose section of the goggle, in case you have a differently shaped nose, a smaller nose. You can add that foam and make the goggle fit your face. There's also this bracket piece that can be fitted on top of the goggle for a head tracker. If you, for instance, want to control a pan and tilt setup for your FPV camera, you can add a head tracker that is also sold by Quanum to this plate and mount this plate with the supplied double-sided sticky tapes. That's a nice addition, I think. And last but not least, a instructions manual, which is just fine. It's in perfectly proper English, very understandable. Everything you need to know is in this manual. Oops, I forgot one more thing, a little hard to see. It's in its protective packaging. In this package is a replacement magnification lens. A 3x magnification lens. It is the same as is already in the goggle. It's just a spare. If you manage to scratch or damage in other ways your magnification lens, you can open up the goggle and replace your lens. Okay, so far so good, I think. Again, I really like these goggles. It would be good, of course, to show you some footage in the camera. It is hard to really give you an impression of what the screen looks like to me, but I'll get an FPV source, a quadcopter up and running, and then we'll have a look at the screen. And actually there are some more improvements and I'll show them to you in the screen footage. Okay, so yeah, action cameras really dislike living in goggles, but I'm sure you can see that in normal running or flying conditions you have an RSSI indicator in the middle at the bottom, those bars. It's not a percentage, it's in bars. And to the left at the bottom you see the battery voltage. And that is, of course, the voltage of the battery that's powering your goggle. So you won't be caught out with a dead battery in the middle of your flight, which is quite important. And what is also an upgrade in this goggle, in this version 2, is that the inside of the goggle is matted out. It has a non-glare black finish. I personally didn't have an issue with the version 1 in that regard, but the screen won't be reflected onto the sides of the inside of the goggle. So that's a nice upgrade, of course. And the entire OSD that you see here is a great RSSI signal, cool stuff. And if you select a channel or a band, the goggle will show you the frequency, channel and band at the bottom right and center as well. That won't be on screen the entire flight, which would be useless, but it's great to have that while you are selecting or scanning for your quadcopter. Right? So, great upgrades. The entire OSD. I wish the Quantum Genesis had this feature. Maybe the version 2 of the Genesis, hint. Okay, so yeah, I know this footage doesn't look great. Again, it's hard to capture what a goggle actually shows you. So, that was my initial review of this Cyclops 2 from Quantum. Again, I am very positive about this goggle, and have a look at the link in the description. As you'll see, it is very affordable, which makes it a great entry level FPV goggle, I think. If you are looking for your first goggle, I'd definitely recommend this one. Now let's see, what more can I tell you? Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna be asked what the range of this goggle is with this receiver. Yeah, hard to say anything about that. The most important thing in terms of range is a good antenna. I've got a Fat Shark antenna on the goggle at this moment. That'll make much more of a difference than one receiver to the other. So yeah, that's a worthwhile investment, a good antenna for your goggle and of course for the quadcopter plane, whatever you are FPVing with. So again, that's it. Hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And hope to see you back in another video. Bye bye.